when it comes to the quarters in Onicha-Olona and the ancestry of the people of Onicha-Olona, it is unequivocally Benin. I am aware that there are some infiltrations, some people who want to make trouble and infiltrate the community to stir the pot and cause some problem. But God Almighty and our ancestors will not let them have their way. That's one thing I can say for sure. Onicha-Olona is a settlement of ancient Benin warriors. It is indisputable. There is no argument anybody can make about it. The history is true about it. The culture is true about it. The facts and evidence are all there. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the potters in Olona. And I hope that the viewers and the listeners will follow gradually and unveil this for themselves without being pressed. Let me start with my own potter, where I come from, and the village from which my potter is situated. I am from Ogbe. My quarter is called Idumu Ugbe, also known as Ugbe Royal Quarter, because we are the royal quarter in Onicha-Olona. We are the descendants of Oba Ugbe, the Oba Nisika, princely known as Prince Osazua, the second son of Oba Esike. So, at least knowing that we are descendants of Ugbe, that clears the fact that we are Benin. My potter is of Benin origin and descendants, unless somebody wants to tell me that Oba Esike is an Igbo man. Now, in Ogbe, also, Ogbe is the short form of it. Originally, it is called Ogbo Oba, which is now currently called Ogbo Obi. They started calling it Ogbo Obi after 1900, with whatever changes that the British has imposed on us. But let's not go into that for now. In Ogbe, we have 4 main quarters originally. So these 4 main quarters comprise of Ugbe Royal quarters, which is Idumu Ugbe quarters, Idumu Onicha-Olona, Idumu Ogbele Udubami, and Idumu Iyi. Okay? Idumu Ugbe, as I have mentioned, is entirely Benin because we are descendants of Ugbe. Oba Nisika, originally Prince Osazua, the second son of Oba Esike, as I stated earlier. Idumu Onicha-Olona. Onicha-Olona, also by the name you can see, is also Benin. He was one of the Benin warriors. Olona, you can see, is not an Igbo word and has no meaning in Igbo language. His descendants are the present-day Idumu Onicha-Olona quarter in Onicha-Olona. We have Idumu Oko Idei, also simply called Oko Iyi. Oko Iyi was the first son of Oba Ugbe. His descendants are the ones that form Idumu Iyi quarters in Onicha-Olona. We have Idumu Ogbele Udubami. Udubami also is a Benin man, a native doctor of the time, and a member of Igabanogbe before he came to Onicha-Olona and still maintained the status. With these 4 main quarters I have mentioned now, you can see that Ogbe is nearly 100% Benin. Why I say nearly is because in Idumu Onicha-Olona, there is one single family, not a quarter, Onicha-Olona is a quarter of its own, but there is one single family called Umu Olo. They came from Ogwash after a tragic incident in their family and came to Onicha-Olona to settle in the late 1800s. Take note, in the late 1800s, Onicha-Olona became a kingdom of its own in the year 1550 when Obugba was installed. But the settlement has been there going back as early or as far as one can go to 1200 AD. Where we call Onicha-Olona holds the ancient spy house built by Oba Wakohe.
Okay.
That ancient spy house was later converted into Oba's retreat house. The site of that house still remains in Olona today. Okay? Now, the entire people of Onicha-Olona are, like I said, nearly 95% Benin. As I have mentioned, Ogbobi, we have dealt with Ogbobi or Ogboba or simply Ogbe. Now, only one family in Ogbe are from Ogwashi, and they are of Igbo origin because their family in Ogwashi are of Nri heritage. Okay? That is why I said at least 99.5% of Ogbe is Benin, if we take account of that singular family in Ogbe. Now, let's move to the sister village of Ogbe, which is Umu Olo. Umu Olo village are the descendants of Olo, Princess Olo, the younger sister of Oba Ugbe, the only daughter that our history records as the daughter of Queen Elaba to Oba Esige. Now, she and her husband are the ancestors of Umu Olo village. Her husband's name is Obagie. I am sure that every listener and every viewer can understand that Obagie is not an Igbo word, right?
Even the Ika people, many Ika people are bearing Benin names. You know that?
Okay.
Up to date.
Okay.
We still have Otagie. We have so many Benin names.
Okay, so now, with Obagie, one of the warriors who came to Olona, he married Olo. Olo is not an Igbo name. Obagie is not an Igbo name. These are Benin people. Now let's go now into the quarters formed by the descendants of this couple. Obagie and Olo gave birth to Ale. Ale, you can agree with me, is Benin name as well. And Ibakide. Ale gave birth to Ozwa, Ohabema, and Odagwe. Now, these three names, these three sons, the names of these three sons, you can see they are all Benin as well, because they are of Benin origin. Their quarters, their families are the ones that formed Idumo Odagwe, Idumo Ozwa, and Idumo Habema in Umu Olo village today. Ibakide is the daughter of Olo. She was married by an Igbo man who was mostly known by his alias, Onicha-Olona. And that is why when you come to Umu Olo today, you will have 4 main quarters. There are other sub-quarters in there. Among the children of Olo as well is Odia. So, making up Idumo Ozua, Idumo Habema, Idumo Adaba, and Idumo Onyolu Nibakide. If we take the statistics of this now, you find that the Umu Olo village are 3/4 of Umu Olo village are of Benin ancestry by paternity, while the remaining quarter is half Benin and half Igbo. By this percentage, I believe that someone will agree with me that one can at least say that Umu Olo is of Benin ancestry by percentage of the people that inhabit there. Now, let's move to the other village, Ogbe Nuselu. I believe this will be very easy for somebody to understand. Ogbe Nuselu.
That is a Benin name.
That's a Benin name.
Mm.
Iken was one of the warriors in Benin who came to Olona before he was called back to the war where his life ended. I believe that Benin people know that history better.
Yes.
Okay? His father, where he pitched his tent with his own regiment, is where we call Obiken Nuselu, Obekenu, which was a contraction from Obiken Nuselu.
Mm.
Okay? Yeah. There in that village, the founders of that village are the same Iken, Omi, Oba, and the rest of them. You can agree with me that Omi is not an Igbo name. That's Benin.
Yes.
Okay? Iken is not Igbo, is Benin. At least if somebody cannot remember anybody else, at least Iken is not a figure that can be missing in the history of Benin. Okay? So these are Benin people who formed the same village we call Obekenu. There is 1/4 in Obekenu, though, who are not necessarily of Benin ancestry, if we may say that, but they lived in Benin before they migrated to Onicha-Olona. These are the Olukumis in Olona. They are the other 1/4. According to history, their ancestors accompanied Oromia from Ife when Oromia was returning from Ife to Benin. They left Benin to move eastward between the time that Oromia was facing the challenges of leading the Benin people and the time Uwakoha and his brother Idu had tussle over the kingship. In order to escape from that crisis, some of those migrants from those people from Ife moved east and settled in where we call Olukumi today in Delta State. There are some others that came from Oyo, as we can understand, and some other Yoruba area to join their families. That group of people, a part of them came to Olona, or where Olona is, or resided in where Olona is, and they are the other people. They are the only 1/4 in Obekenu Selu, or simply called Obekenu, who are not of Benin ancestry. They are the Olukumi people in that 1/4. So looking at the entire thing now, still you find the higher percentage of Benin in the same village they call Obekenu or Obekenu Selu. Now, let's move.
My question. So, will everybody in Onicha-Olona agree with this analysis that they are descendants of the Benin Kingdom?
Okay, I believe that 95% will agree to this because they know their family's ancestry.
Okay.
We have come to realizing recently that there are some infiltrators, whatever their nefarious reasons may be, who tries to say that Onicha-Olona is Igbo. Okay, and I'm going to deal with that as we go further. But let me clear the ground on the ancestry of the potters. first. At least we have established the ancestry of 3 villages, remaining 3. Moving on to Ehen. I believe the name Ehen rings bell to a Benin person. Am I right?
100%. That is a Benin name, Benin word.
Okay. Ehen is a quarter formed by people from Benin, our Benin warriors, who initially, as during the war against the Chima, was initially stationed in the present-day Agbo, between Agbo and Umunede, right? Later on, after the war has ended, they later relocated from their location between Agbo and Umunede to Onicha-Olona, and they are the ones that formed Ehen, because their leader was from Ehen in Benin. There is also another man in that quarter among the founders called Oko-Alo. Oko-Alo is from Ogwashi. He is the son or the second son of the then Alo, the Eze of Ogwashi. His mother was one of the daughters of Ugbe. He later left Ogwashi to come and live with us and stayed in Ehen. That place called Ehen is now what we call Isiepe in Onicha-Olona. Again, if you go there, they are about 90 to 95% Bini, with a small mixture of people from Igbo. Again, we can now, obviously, four villages now are Bini, as we have established. There are 6 villages in the present day Onicha-Olona. The 5th, also the Dumuja people. These people trace their ancestry also from Edo,